Hey everyone, Rachie here. I'm sure you all know this, but ever since the beginning of Vocaloid in the Western community, people have been attributing Vocaloid songs to the actual Vocaloid itself and never the producer. I mean, I used to do it myself when I was younger. But as I became more involved, I came to understand that, well, producers exist. And unlike the Western pop music industry, we acknowledge them first before the actual artist. Sadly, some people still don't realize that crediting Vocaloid Ps is super duper important. Not only does it help people find new songs to listen to, but it also gives the producers the fame they deserve. So today, I want to start a new show called Producer Spotlight, where I introduce one Vocaloid P per video and hopefully start getting people into the habit of crediting Vocaloid Ps. Let's start! This episode, we're gonna talk about n-buna, the most recent Vocaloid P to have won my heart. n-buna is a relatively new Vocaloid P who only started back in 2012, but he already has 4 songs in the Hall of Legend. That is to say, 4 songs with over 1 million hits on Nico Nico Doga. A pretty spectacular feat considering that not a lot of songs these days are reaching those kinds of numbers anymore. You might know 2 of his songs from me since I covered both and featured them in my last video, and even had a third playing in the background while I was speaking. A self-proclaimed dark person who likes heart-wrenching things, n-buna is most famous for making emotional songs that are human-like and yet still interesting and uniquely Vocaloid. As stated in an interview, his first thought when writing a song is that it stays something that people can sing, i.e. not a mafu-mafu song. One of the ways he does this is by utilizing the whisper voice banks of Vocaloids. To him, Vocaloids are real singers too, so n-buna takes a lot of time tuning his Vocaloids, giving them an emotional feel, such as in Daybreak and Fireflies. But cheeky emotional songs aren't all he can do. If you can recall, he also made Transparent Elegy, a harsh goodbye song heavy on guitars and synth. It was his first real hit that made the NND rankings. He looked back on it recently saying that after that point, he couldn't really afford to make half-assed songs anymore, so he started studying mixing, composition, arrangement, and anything he could to make his song sound better. I mean, listen to the difference between the original upload and the album version. To me, n-buna's songs are unique because he paints a picture in the instrumental as well as in the lyrics. For example, let's look at Daybreak and Fireflies again. It's a song that takes place around dawn, just before sun rises. As such, he keeps the instrumental at a minimum. But at the end of the song, it suddenly picks up, almost like the sun finally rose. Coincidentally, it's also a turning point in the lyrics, as the protagonist finally has hope that with a new day, everything will be better. It feels to me like he's expressing what the sky looks like in guitar speak, if you get what I'm trying to say. And he always manages to do this. His first media album, Hana to mizuame, saishuu densha, is themed The Last Day of Summer, and its track list is sorted by time, with the first tracks happening in the morning and the last ones happening just before daybreak the next day. This is mostly shown through the instrumentals of his songs, where the intensity drops towards the end, i.e. Umiuri kaitetan in the beginning versus the title track at the end. Speaking of the title track, even without understanding the lyrics, Hana to mizuame, saishuu densha makes you feel like the summer is over. The instrumental that's pianos and long guitar notes is very solemn, and the song really sums up what the album is. Thoughts like, oh, this is so painful, and I wanna die! His words, not mine. But really, you can see it in his lyrics. They're the perfect complement to the picture he already paints with the instrumental. Like, for example, in First Train and Kafka, you can tell from the instrumental that it's a sad song, but you don't really know why until you listen to the lyrics. And even then, you might not get it if you don't know what it's referencing. Frank Kafka's famous story, The Metamorphosis, a song about a man who turns into a bug, and, spoiler alert, his family is disgusted by him and kicks him out to die and feels relieved! You see what I mean? And for songs lacking in that kind of instrumental, he makes up for in poetic and or very story-heavy lyrics, like in Meru. The chorus is, I threw my heart into a sea of shining stars, blooming inside hanging lanterns. I mean, that's pretty much something you'd find in a poem, no? And even the opening is poetic too. Like the setting sun, my heart has been dyed. I'd elaborate more, but I pretty much said all I wanted to in my top 10 video, which you should totally watch after this one. Well, Well, that's all I have to say really, but before I go, here's some other n-buna songs you should listen to. Umi Yuri Kaiteitan. Sayonara Wonderland. Mujin Eki. Rachie. I hope you guys learned more about n-buna today and hopefully give him a listen. He released his first media album last year with another one coming out next month. I put the links in the description where you can buy them internationally if you're interested. Which, if you aren't, then this video was for nothing. That's all for today, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Which vocal OP would you like to see next? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, guys. This is Rachie, over and out.